Okay, gay marriage, marriage equality. I have a little bit of trouble understanding what exactly it is that most gay Americans, liberal Americans, really want in regards to marriage equality. It's like you're living in tyranny when you want to allow the government to grant you permission to do things. I mean, it's almost like they want the government to tell everyone that everyone needs to recognize their marriage. As if they need like universal acceptance for everyone in the country to what, say the words, I support your marriage, or I acknowledge your marriage. Does that like somehow make your marriage more legitimate to you? Does that make your love more legitimate? I mean, shouldn't it just be about, the two people and then the friends and family that they wish to include? Why does the government have to be involved in your marriage? It doesn't have to be this way. In fact, you don't even need to ask the government to marry you. A marriage has always just been, traditionally, a contract between two people, and if you want to invite your religion into it, that's fine. You're more than welcome to do so. It could be anything you want. This is the libertarian view of marriage. It has never, until recently, been a federal issue. You can marry whoever you choose, but I don't need approval from everyone. I just don't want anyone to bother me. Isn't that, what ultimately what you want? I don't need anyone to sponsor my marriage, is I guess what I'm saying. I don't need government acceptance. It's wrong that they deny it to you, but it's because people give in to this fallacy, the idea that government has this role. Don't give it that authority. Don't give government the authority to decide what you can and can't do with your own life. We put too much faith in this government. It's not God. Don't worship the government. You have the right to marry who you want and call it what you want. It could be whatever you want it to be. A contract between two individuals to include whatever legal points they wish to include. Free Americans have the right to enter into any contract they choose, call it whatever they choose. You can join yourself to anyone, whether you want to call it marriage, joining, a commitment ceremony. You have that right. You can call it marriage. But if other people don't want to call it marriage, I don't think that we should be forcing them to. They also don't, of course, have the right to take away any of your rights. I completely agree with that, which is where we're kind of at right now. But, you should have the same rights as everyone else. But I don't see the need for, everyone to have to universally accept it. It's like you're forcing people into thinking a certain way. Why do you need to force them? They'll come around. Don't worry, it takes some time. But if you start forcing people through government action to accept something, then they're just going to start resenting you. It just doesn't seem like the right means to me. We don't need more divisiveness among our fellow Americans, really. The acceptance for marriage equality is happening, and it's happening in a very active way. But I just feel like some people just want the wrong thing, and they don't even realize it. I don't think you want to end up giving the government so much authority over you in your life. In essence, that's what you're doing. To say you need an amendment to include gay marriage specifically and change the language, maybe at some levels there's some need for that, but still, overall, you're going about it the wrong way. Ultimately, the right way to go about it is to limit our federal government. That's the essence of the problem. The government is too involved in our lives. How dare we even give it the right? How has this even become an issue? That is the problem. It became an issue because we invited too much government into our lives. It shouldn't be an issue if we can smoke marijuana, if we can willingly put that chemical into our own bodies. We've invited the government to tell us what's right and what's wrong. So what if the sitting president is pro or anti-gay marriage? The president doesn't get to have an opinion when it comes to your liberties. They're yours. No one can take them away from you. They're inalienable rights. The government doesn't have the right to tell us it's wrong or right for gays to get married, but we've given it that authority. That is my issue. Do not give anyone, anybody, authority over your life or your happiness. So I feel like neither side, Republicans or Democrats, are going about it the right way. They're both just not quite getting it, I feel. They're both for big government intervention into your life. in my dictatorship, marriage will be strictly between one man and one woman. Or, in my dictatorship, no, you can marry whoever you like. They're both dictatorships. These are not real freedoms. They're illusions of freedoms. This is just a way to take our minds off the important issues. You're still ultimately asking for permission, which is wrong. So I feel people need to jump on the libertarian bandwagon and tell the federal government to get out of our personal business, limit it. So yes, of course I'm for marriage equality, but I'm not for it being granted to me by anyone, any president, any Congress. I feel I already have the right, and we are just merely in a struggle right now to reclaim it, not have it granted to us. This is very important, I feel. We are free people, and this is what we should be fighting for, not specific rights to be appealing to any body, any government, to allow me to do things. We need to be fighting for our individual rights to do whatever we choose, as long as we don't hurt anybody else. That is what it means to really be American.